the first time in more than 5.5 years, we finally tonight have a few new answers to a question that has loomed over Indiana and over the town of Delphi. Who killed Abby Williams and Libby German?
From the end of the bridge to, you got to go through. Now, I believe the bodies were found about 50
A
feet.
suspect in the criminal investigation out of Fort Hood is dead. Officials say he killed himself overnight.
They needed that little music in the background that goes, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
Right.
Knew about it or was there. He's as guilty as the person who committed
Chilling details in the arrest of a suspected serial killer caught before he could strike again.
Him, they dropped the ball, man. Like, they said he went AWOL. And that he was a deserter, and nobody went to look for him.
Today is not a day to celebrate. But the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder.
Right. He sees him taking off with the wife. They end up finding the wife murdered with the baby out of her, and they found the baby in another place.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to The Drunken Turkey Show, your one-stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to The Drunk Turkey Show. We have a special Sunday live broadcast. Typically, we don't go live on Sundays, and in the future, when we do, this will probably be a members only type of show. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, hit that membership, join us. But tonight we got a little bit of breaking news, and we want to break down a little bit of material for you guys, kind of show you guys what we're thinking. Alongside with me, as always, is Jaime and Big Blue. Jaime, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. My, a little bit off topic. I'm a huge football fan, and my team won today, so we're doing a lot better. Yeah, we're doing a lot better. How you doing, Big Blue?
I'm doing good, man. I'm sorry I was late, guys. That's probably why it was a hold up because of me, because I was waiting for the show set up, and I laid down for a second, and that's all it took.
Yeah, we know. It definitely sometimes that's how it works when you're working the shift work. But we do have a little bit of a thank you to say. A couple of people, one 99 Lipstick, who's in the live chat. She's going to be a moderator for us soon. She's a member. And also, Shane C bought us 3 beers. Says, "Merry Christmas, guys. Many thanks for your videos. I enjoy them." This is off of buymeacoffee.com. If you want to support the show, support the channel, link is in the description. We appreciate that very much. Thank you so much, Shane.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So, there's a little bit of news across the board, right? And, we broke this down yesterday that there was a video that came out, and you could hear Maddie and Kaylee speaking and referencing somebody named Adam, right? Now, the full footage has been released, and so I want to show this to you guys. We'll break it down. We'll break down Steve Goncalves, who's Kaylee's dad, has come out and spoken about Adam. I want to break down what it is that he's exactly said, what it means, and who Adam potentially is. I think we have a pretty good idea who it is. And so this is the from News Nation. This is the actual clip. We'll have to mute everybody.
What did you say to Adam? I told him. What did you say to Adam? I told him.
You're muted. You're muted. Shame.
Shame on me. Shame on me. Also, guys, real quick, the content, based on the content, will probably get demonetized on this episode. If you guys could do us a favor by hitting the like button and subscribing, that would be great. And so yesterday we got a voice clip or an audio clip of from a surveillance video. This is the full surveillance video. This is, in my opinion, while they're walking with hoodie guy towards the grub truck. This is happening after the corner club, before they got to the grub truck, right? And so they talk about Adam. Kaylee's father talks about this situation. He says a couple of interesting things, and I want to let's bring that up, and then we'll go over that real quick.
That film, to the family, we've had that film for a while. I believe the business reached out to us directly, and after they had given it to the police. So it was kind of comforting to us, because it's just two girls having a good time talking about, asking about their bartender and just being girls on their way to the grub truck.
Yeah, so you don't suspect that this guy, Adam, that's stated in the video is somehow a suspect or anything like that. You guys have known about this video for a while.
We have, and we asked, and we did the obvious due diligence when we looked into that, and it was pretty clear that this individual was not a part of the investigation as far as a suspect.
Good copy. So, Steve, what can you tell us about the investigation thus far? We've heard about the car details being.
So he says that these were girls talking about a bartender. That's the first hint that I saw. The second thing that I saw about this was that he said that the business reached out to the family directly, right? And that through their investigation, the families, they don't feel that Adam is part of it, that he's just a bartender, and they were speaking about the bartender situation, right? Now, in my opinion, this Adam is one of Jack's friends, right? We spoke about this yesterday. I spoke about this yesterday. I'm sorry. It's one of Jack's friends, Adam Lauda. In fact, let me pull him up. It's this gentleman here. He studies at the University of Idaho. Let's take a clear picture of him. This is who he is. He is a basketball player. You can't tell from this angle because he's tall next to another tall subject, but he is 6'5". He's a large man. He plays for the basketball team. Okay.
Makes me look short.
Yeah. Now, here's where. Let me find it real quick. This is the Corner Club's Facebook. Corner Club's Facebook right here. And let's go to the photos. Where is it? I saw it earlier. If they took it, here it is. This man right here. Does that look familiar?
Yep.
I think that's Adam L. This is Adam Lauda. My opinion. If we'll watch this real quick. This is actually from Crime Circus. This was where this young man was trying to put Jack D in that party house that we spoke about, referencing the white vehicle that was in the driveway, right? And so let me unmute it. We're gonna have to mute everybody.
So taking a look at this picture right here, this is video that I found on the facade at who he believes to be the ex-boyfriend's house, being walked as well as in the front yard. So taking a look at this picture.
Right here, you can see that the name of this TikTok is Adam to Lauda. This is Adam, the guy that I showed the Facebook picture of. This is the guy that I'm thinking that resides in the house that's just 2 houses down, and the guy that's in the Corner Club picture. Looks very similar to me. Let me know in the live chat if you guys are thinking that this is the same guy.
That's the video where they're on top of the house, right?
No, this is this is the house. That house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same house. This is not the same video. In this clip of this video here, Crime Circus is trying to show that Jack Decor, which is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, lived in this house right here. And so let me unmute it, mute myself.
This is video that I found on the internet of somebody's TikTok, and we're going to compare it to the realtor photo. And we can see a dog that appears to be Murphy, Kaylee's former dog that she shared custody with Jack with, who Jack Decor is now the sole owner of. I can't say 100%.
Now, he goes into thinking that potentially Jack Decor may have done something like this for custody of a dog. I don't suspect that being the case, but
was he John Wick?
Right. Let's see. Right. No, the thing is with this though is he does live close by. You kind of put everything together. The only thing that I couldn't figure out, right? See, when I look at things and I look at cases or whatever, I kind of try to look at things like you guys are familiar with the game Sudoku?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in that game, you have to have, you can't have, if you have a 3 here, you can't have a 3 in the other side, right? On the same line, you have to coordinate everything. And so with me, if I connect one dot, I have to make sure that that dot clears all options, right? The only thing that I can't figure out is if this was that white vehicle at Adam's house, why would he be traveling at 3:45 in the morning? What do you call it? Coming back from the east. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he was coming from the corner club, and I'm trying to get my dang maps to work with me, and they're not right now. Let me redo this real quick. What do you guys think? Do you think this is the same Adam?
It sure looks like it. What's it called? Your maps is probably not working because of the feds.
Right. Yeah. The maps might be going out on this area just because of the fact that we're trying to look into this. I had to restart the Google Earth. It wasn't allowing me to move it around. But
it's a feds blocking everybody from searching up that part of the world.
Right. And just while I'm fixing that up, this is the and this is slowed down. This is the house that we're talking about, that Adam and Jack potentially live. I'm not sure about Jack. There's a lot of pictures of Jack at this house, this party house, and also across the street right here. But as you can see, right here across the street is where the victim's house is at. And there's somebody on the roof up here. I don't know if that's Jack or not. I'm not sure who this person is. You can't tell from that angle.
If I was off today, I would show him how to do an actual shotgun the right way, but maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. We are going to be live tomorrow, guys. This one's just a quick one to come back out here.
I am
Let's
off
see
tomorrow.
If my Google Earth is working. Yeah. There it goes. Finally. It's frozen. All right. Let me pull this up. So the corner club is up north. Right here. All right. And so if he were to be going directly home or straight here, there would be no point in passing this gas station coming from the east at 3:45. Now, if this guy worked that night at the corner club and he was the bartender, which Kaylee's dad kind of talked about being, they were talking about their bartender. So it makes me believe that he was at least there present that night at the corner club. That tells me that he probably closed the corner club down. Now, have you ever worked in a bar, Blue? No?
No, but I've closed down many bars.
Yeah. I've worked in a bar before as a DJ way back in the day and as a bar back and a bartender and stuff like that myself. I can tell you when you close down a bar, you're probably there an extra maybe hour and a half, depending on the size of the bar. The corner club doesn't seem like a big bar, so it's probably about an hour and a half or so. And so if the bar closed down around 1, which I'm not sure what the rules are in Idaho. Some places bars close down at 1. Some places they get to stay open and extend it till 2 a.m. But if it closed down at 1, I could see him getting home around 3 in the morning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you gotta. I've been there when after some shows and where they're cleaning up our tables, and then you see them clean up the bottles, mopping, sweeping, and they start doing their tear down of the day, so picking up the chairs. So I would say it takes time. The DJ has to take his stuff apart.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, stocking back up, cleaning up the bar and things of that nature. And yeah, afterwards, it's probably going to take an hour to 2 hours to finish up. Now, maybe perhaps he dropped somebody off on this side of town, came back around, came home at that time, or perhaps I was actually speaking with our member. 9mm and lipstick, and she said that there was a possibility that they would have been coming. There's a river east of of Moscow, not too far out, and there's a possibility that maybe perhaps this guy, at 3:45, is coming back from the river. It's about a 10-minute drive out. What do you think about that possibility? Maybe he was discarding some evidence.
Yeah, maybe he was getting rid of the knife.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
It looks like it, man. I mean, why be out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. And so, in my opinion, like I was saying, guys, so we have somebody named Adam. He, the family did their investigation, which probably went as far as asking him, "Hey, what happened? What did you see? What were they talking about?" Steve Goncalves is not a trained detective or whatnot. And so, I'm not sure what Adam would have told him to make him believe that he wasn't a part of the investigation or as a suspect. But
yeah,
I find that comment that she made sounded like it was in distress. It didn't sound like it was something that she was too thrilled about, and the response didn't sound like it was something she was thrilled about. It sounded also like it was under duress.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel that it's probably I would think that there's a dot there to connect. The police cleared out the person that they called at several times that morning.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I'm just curious as to what these alibis are that the police cleared the hoodie guy fairly quickly. And I'm fairly positive as well that hoodie guy here was probably privileged to the conversation that these two girls had about Adam and knows a little bit as well. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Like, to go backward about this Adam guy, he got cleared by the family, right? Not by the cops.
Correct. The families said that they spoke with him,
mm-hmm.
which isn't a good idea. The family should not be approaching or calling or talking potential suspects.
Mm-hmm.
This is potentially why the police don't want to give him information.
Yeah.
Because if they're giving him information and he's running around and asking questions about people, which this isn't the first time, he talked about the injuries that happened between Kaylee and Madison, talking with the coroner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the coroner is not going to go and describe the nature of the injuries to the other victims, to the family. They're going to describe maybe, and this is a big maybe, the coroner could describe injuries to their family member that was a victim, right? You're not going to go and say, hey, this person looked this way or this person was that way, right? And so when you look at when you hear him talk, and he's talking about how two of his favorite people, Madison was like a daughter to him, I'm fairly positive the families are close. And so he's familiar with that connection, right? And he's close to that family. And so, in my opinion, he would be privileged to that information as well, as far as the amount of the degree of the injuries that she had, right? And so he could probably put 2 and 2 together based on the fact that he says that the person that entered the building didn't have to go upstairs. If the target was on the second floor, it could have, entrance and exit was supposedly the second floor. So Why go up to a third? He talks about the nature upstairs. And so he's been privileged some information. The businesses give him this document, and then he goes and talks to Adam after the fact. You know, there's a possibility he could have gave them information in that conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, you know, the girl said this, that, whatever. You know, he can turn around and go tell whoever, potentially his roommate Jack, hey, you know, this person's dad called me and said that they're looking out for this, they're looking out for that, they're looking out for this time. If we have an alibi for this time or that time, then we can create something that's going to, you know, clear us. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you were a somebody that was a person of interest, and you know, and there's an open window in which they're looking at something, and somebody says, hey, they're looking at this window to that window between 3 and 6, and I can come up with something that puts me somewhere till 7. You know what I'm saying? And so that I found to be a little bit concerning, and maybe perhaps why this case still hasn't had an answer in it. What do y'all think? We'll start off with you, Big Blue.
Okay. I was trying to see if Jaime jumped on or not. Okay. Yeah, man. I think, you know, it takes time to investigate. They're going to track. They think they're suspects. I'm pretty sure they're going to go. Young kids these days, they'll have their phones on them. So I wonder if they're going to go by the cell phone towers and see if anything pinned at the time of the murders. You know what I mean? See where they were at. That's probably the best way to track them, especially even if you have one of the smart watches. I'm pretty sure that gives GPS back to your phone where you're at.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
This is weird. Check this out. This is Adam. This is friends list. Jake Decor was a friend of his. Unless Jake. Oh, wait, you know what? I put Jake, not Jack. I'm sorry. My bad. All right. So Jack Decor is on here. Dylan is on here, who was one of the surviving victims that was in the house. Let's see if Madison is on here. Maddie is not. Let's see if Kaylee is on here. Now there's pictures. We have pictures of Madison and Kaylee at that house where Adam lived. Kaylee is not. That's interesting. Kaylee is not a friend yet. Her love interest, Jack Decor, is. Let's look at Xana. Let's see if she's on here. Nope. Let's look up if Ethan is on here. Nope. You find that a little bit weird that this guy lived very close to these people, went to the same university, partied together. There's pictures of them in and around his house, and on his friends list, the victims that were not with us anymore are no longer on his. I mean, I'm not saying they were at one time on his friends list. I'm not sure, but I find it a little bit odd that Dylan would be on there, Kaylee and Madison wouldn't, if they were all from the same area. I find it a little weird that Jack is on there and not the victims.
Yeah, especially because, like, you know, people in you know, college, a college town. I mean, they're gonna try to, you know, socialize with everybody. So they're gonna be getting each other's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? To keep in touch. So it's kind of weird, like, for him not to have any of them, especially if they hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially like if it's like your local bar. I mean, I'm friends with some of my bartenders at some of the bars that I go to.
How come I don't find that hard to believe?
I have a few of them on my Instagram, and if you're a friendly person, man, they'll talk to you. They, you know, hang out with you sometimes too.
Right, but you know, even the night of the incident, right? You have these girls walking down the street, referencing Adam. Dad is verifying that it's the bartender. We can kind of put some pieces together. This is the neighbor. They live close together. They attend college, the same university. These girls have been at his house. They've partied at their house. There's pictures of them there. He's friends with their boyfriend. He's friends with, at least one person who wasn't harmed in the apartment. I'm not saying that it's him. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of weirdness going on there. What do you think? I can't get past it. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, definitely. It's just like it seems out of place almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's creep. It's not like it's hard to believe that what I mean. Like he wouldn't be in that same social circle if they were all living next, in the same town and visiting the same places.
Right. And somebody said here in the live chat, it kind of went up for me. Kids really don't use Facebook. And I understand that. I get that. But Facebook is a situation where you can unfriend somebody and that person can't see your stuff. But if you unfollow somebody, that doesn't mean that the person that's following you unfollows them. And so on Instagram, I believe Kaylee, Madison are following Adam on Instagram. Now, I understand that, maybe they don't use Facebook that much, but these girls did. There's pictures of them at his house on Facebook. He has, he's updated his pictures. He has her boyfriend. He has who, you got to remember, Jack and Kaylee were together a lot longer than they've been in the University of Idaho. They've been together for 5 years. And so if Jack met Adam, who is not from the immediate area, Jack is from up north. And Adam is from Bull, Idaho, which is about 7 hours away from Moscow. And so, he's friends with Dylan. He's friends with everybody. He's friends with Dylan, the boyfriend, roommates. It just doesn't vibe with me. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a question mark there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's enough to give him something, but Shelly R says, is Adam Jack D's alibi? But here's the thing, like I mentioned before, if he was working at the bar and he closed that bar, what time does that put him home? That has to put him home around 3 o'clock if the bar closed at that time. In fact, I'm gonna look it up. Let's look it up. Let's not guesstimate anymore.
Most bars close at 2. I mean,
well, it depends on where you're at, and you know what I mean. Like for instance, if you're in Texas, some places it's midnight. Some places it's at 1, and some places it's at 2. It depends on your law and what the municipality had put in.
Well, I thought Texas was until blue passes out.
It could be.
That's until the sun comes up, brother.
It's still the same time. That's still the same time. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? I'm looking at the wrong chat. There it is. I was like, where is it at? There it is. All right, let's look up the hours for the Corner Club. Let's find it out. They're open now. Go to their website.
Probably be on the Google.
You know what? You're right. Let's look that up.
Somebody in the chat says told us that too on the chat. For Dacos 2009.
All right, let's see. Hours of operation. Closes at 2 a.m. So if he closed at 2 a.m. as a bartender, what time do you think he's getting home? What time does you think he's getting out of work?
I think maybe 3. It takes a while, man. You gotta, like you said, restock. You gotta drain the tanks, put the bottles back they didn't finish. Make sure everything's nice and clean because the mold grows on all that stuff. And if they're a good bartender, they want to have good clean area.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like 2:45 to 3 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah. See, Titanium IM says my daughter's a bartender and it's a 2-hour cleanup after last call for alcohol. And so, yeah, it's a good bit. I mean, at the earliest, given the size of the bar, maybe it's a smaller bar, things of that nature, and maybe they close down early due to whatever. I don't think so because this says it's open till 2. maybe they have. So I've traveled to mountain towns before. I've been to like Colorado and things of that nature. And I know during the wintertime, they'll change their hours of operation because of the weather. Maybe perhaps this being in November is the start of that. Just kind of speculating, but everything that I see here, it says 2 a.m. And so, in my opinion, he's not getting home. I mean, if he's getting home at between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, I mean, he's there during the time that this potentially is happening, and 3 houses down.
Yeah.
Dr. TJ, we'll be doing calls tomorrow. This one was going to be a shorter one. We're probably going to do maybe another 25 minutes, but we will take questions in the live chat. And so, in my opinion, he's going to be there for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But I find it weird. If you guys have questions in the live chat, we'll go through them. And we'll
I feel sorry for the people that had to clean up the bars after I had a good night. So I call dinosaurs sometimes, and that's not fun for them.
No. And if you've asked a question before, just re-ask it again, guys. We appreciate that, just because there's a lot of comments in. We have 461 people, 463 in the live chat. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe. Jane says, what time was the apparent scream heard on the body cam? That was heard at around 3:12 a.m. And so that's, I mean, here's the thing. If a person is going in to commit something like this, right? In my opinion, you're going through 4 people. There's a lot of rage behind that. And you're using a personal weapon like a knife, right? Those are usually used with rage and stuff. I think that he's going straight there from, his first opportunity, right? And so if it's if somebody's showing up, and this is why I had asked many times, I'm like, why so late? Why after 2:55 did somebody show up? They had to have gotten triggered either at that time, or perhaps this guy was already triggered. It was building. He was upset earlier. It was building. Whatever happened, he gets out of work and then he goes, and that frustration, that anger, whatever that he has built up for the last couple of hours, he goes home. He sees the house. He sees, he's upset. Goes in, and he's pretty strong, and he's a basketball player, 6'5". When you look at the possibilities, if there's not DNA on the hands of these people that were in there, and you got to think the first person that was attacked probably was Ethan, right? And while he was asleep, the coroner said they were all asleep, and so the individuals that would have fought back would have been probably the second person in each of those conflicts, which were both female, smaller, shorter females. If this guy was involved, 6'5", his arm length is going to be pretty long. He may not have scratches on his face, may not have any of those visible markings based on the fact that they probably couldn't reach him if he was standing over him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Does
that make sense? So Dr. TJ says, do you think some of this information coming from the police are red herrings? Maybe. I mean, it could be something to throw off the public, or to throw off, not so much the public, but to throw off the suspect, to make them think that they're going down a different direction, not really looking at him. Yeah. The only thing is there's some things that were found or discovered. For instance, the fact that the police went 24 miles away from Moscow. That wasn't something that the police went out there and disclosed, so to speak. That was something that was found out. Now, that was a concern for me, and I'll tell you why that was a concern for me. The reason that was a concern for me is because they didn't go out there until after that 3:45 a.m. video was found of a car matching somewhat of the description, right? Mm-hmm. And so that tells me that they weren't thinking that this person could have possibly came from out of town. And also, if they hadn't gone already out of town, then that might tell me they were traveling down a different avenue, or weren't looking in this direction, or don't have that much information about it. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I don't know about the red herring, but like I do believe that they do put out some information, like some vague information out there, to almost not throw off, but not give also a person of interest any idea that they're looking at them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting a bunch of comments. I'm trying to catch up.
Somebody asked if if you guys lived at. I've been to Colorado quite a bit. I like to travel up there, but we don't live there. We live out in Texas, near San Antonio, for the most part.
Well, yeah. But I was gonna say, they haven't disclosed like the evidence of if they found like shoe prints that they were leaving the scene, but it's hard to tell because the friends that were there, they had to rule them out too. You know, the people that the girls called to help try to unlock the doors to help the friends in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So that the crime scene could have been a little bit, contaminated. So they had to see. I want to see if there's any bloody footprints stepping somewhere. Maybe it'll show if there's more than one person. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, man. I think it was reported that the bloody footprints might be there, that evidence, but the fact that maybe somebody passed out, or because they saw a body or whatever. I don't think so. And the reason being is the coroner said that they all, went in their beds, and that happened while they were sleeping. And so it was reported that the third floor bedroom was locked as the person left, right? And so I would assume he'd probably do the same thing on the second floor. And so my assumption is that they couldn't get into the bedroom, and so they called some friends of theirs to help them. And maybe perhaps at that point they made entry and somebody passed out, and then they called. But I think that it was because they couldn't get them to open the door and they wouldn't wake up, that they called the police. They're like, hey, we're banging on the door. Nobody's answering. Nobody's waking up. Can we, we need a police officer to come and open the door and do a welfare check, something of that nature. Mm-hmm. Social Butterfly says, no motive with Adam. Well, no motive that we know of. There's a possibility, whatever it was that Maddie may have told him could have been something that was upsetting. And so, if he was infatuated with her, or perhaps maybe even had some kind of romantic engagement with her. Now, if that ended up being the case, and the reason why it might be difficult for the police to find is because perhaps if, let's say, they were having some type of quarrel or whatever, not quarrel, they were intimate with each other and they didn't want anybody to know, things of that nature. Perhaps they would stick to contact by means of cryptic messages. You're thinking Snapchat, WhatsApp, Kick message, things like that wouldn't be found on text messaging or things of that nature. And so, and also wouldn't ping your radio, your cell phone tower. Your GPS it would, but not the cell phone.
What's it called on the cars? You can't tell where they've been because most of them have OnStar or whatever that thing is, isn't it? Wouldn't that track down where your car's been?
On certain models, yes, like most Chevys.
Yes, and I believe you need a warrant, which would require some kind of preponderance or some type of evidence.
Yeah, and somebody put on there that maybe one of the girls was pregnant. It was jealousy. The coroner would have put out 5 deaths. You know what I mean? They would have at least still ruled it as a death of a child if she was pregnant. So I think that's just a hoax.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they would have came up with that, and I think that unless somebody lied and just told them that they were pregnant.
Yeah.
People play weird games that way.
But that coroner was hella sketchy too, man. Like, didn't she change her statements a couple of times?
Not really. Not that I could find. I think she's being very transparent with what she says, and it kind of points and alludes to there being a target. Now, we have to remember that Maddie and Kaylee were both in Madison's room, so it was dark. These girls, although they don't resemble each other in the light, if this guy was intoxicated and/or if it was dark while he was committing, this assault, then perhaps he targeted the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the coroner said this. The coroner said that the three, or he said, they said most of the victims had one lethal puncture. They had multiple punctures, but one of them was lethal, right? They had one lethal one, and it was to the chest. And so when you have four, right, two would be half, four would be all, three would be most. So that means all but one had a single puncture as a lethal puncture, right? And then you listen to Steve, and he talks about the situation in the bedroom where it didn't match. This, that, and the third, that liver and lung were punctured. You also think, all right, the scenario that this guy went into, he did it twice, meaning that there was two people asleep in the same bed. Now it was determined that the person in the second floor, one of them, whoever was second, I think it was Xana, but had defensive wounds, right? And so she fought back, yet she only had the same amount of severity as far as the lethal puncture, right? It was the same as the other three. So you have two people that fought back, two people that didn't, and yet only one who had more than one lethal puncture wound, meaning that person was going pretty hard. You get what I'm saying? And so that leads me to believe that there was a target, and that target was in that third floor. And based on that statements that he's saying, it sounds like it was Kaylee. Now, it doesn't have to be, perhaps maybe he's mad at Kaylee for something else. It doesn't have to be a love interest that he was with Kaylee. Like maybe Adam's upset because Kaylee said something to someone else and it got back to somebody. Maybe his girlfriend. Maybe he was doing something with his girlfriend, or I don't know what. And it got back to him. And you know, there's a lot of scenarios that can go on, right? It's all speculation for the most part. Let's see. Who would do something like this? Daniel's probably law enforcement. What kind of person does this? How do you profile them? I mean, when you look at this situation here, you're going to have to, it depends on the victimology. You're going to look at the victims, who they were, and what type of anybody who came across that were upset with them, mad, things of that nature. You also look at their circumstances. You know, you have college students that are going out to bars and having parties in their house. So you can kind of start to fill in a gap as far as the circle that they keep around them. Usually when you have something like this, it's probably going to be somebody somewhat close to the situation. You know, another thing that you look at in this scenario is there's no sign of break of entry. You know, we looked at the second floor window as a possibility, but if this guy lived close, they partied together, he had, you know, these young ladies at his house, I can see him having the code to their front door. And that makes things a lot easier to get in and out if that ends up being the case. You know, you look at the severity of the injury, that's going to tell you most of the time age, you know, gender, things of that nature of the suspect. You know, you got to look at some of the evidence as well. For them to say that they believe it was one injury, that means me to believe that there's probably DNA from, like you probably have one victim that has DNA from all the others, the other victims, meaning that he used the knife on one, and then on the second person, that second person would have the DNA from the first. The third would have the DNA from the first and the second, and then the fourth would have all of them. And so, you know, that tells you it's one person, and for one person to do something like this, it's got to be a very strong, you know, I know adrenaline is a thing, and perhaps maybe drug use could be in there. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a possibility. But when you're looking at, you know, something like this, you know, through the ribs or through the chest, that's a strong person. Yeah. And, you know, that kind of helps you develop, you know, age as well. Dr. TJ says, never trust a juggler. But great question. You know, there's just a lot to look into. When I look at these types of things, you know, the first thing that I want to look at is, well, is somebody upset with the victim, things of that nature, and then kind of go from there. Sometimes it takes a lot. You would think it would take a lot for somebody to do something like this. It would have to be a very rageful situation. Somebody says steroids. That's a possibility. I mean, you're looking at somebody who's playing college basketball, potentially, if it's this guy, if not somebody else, trying to take an advantage or get an edge. Steroids could be a possibility. But like I said, adrenaline going through, that's going to take you so far. It's fight or flight, man. I can imagine this person's probably very strong and very in shape to be able to do something like this without tiring out, because that's just my opinion. Let's see, what else do you have, guys?
I'm looking, man. I can't catch up, man. So many questions.
Somebody put on there a little while ago that it was somebody on testosterone steroids, right? But I would say, I think just adrenaline catches somebody, they get strong. Doesn't matter if they're on steroids or not. And then a sharp knife can go through the muscle pretty quick. But yeah, to get through the ribs and everything, the pain, it's a little tough, man. Y'all hunting fish, you try to cut through things. If you have a dull knife, you're forcing your wrist. You're trying to get that animal open. So I would say, if it's really sharp and you're strong, you get it right through there sometimes.
Yeah, maybe that's why they think that this person is somebody who loves knives, because it would have to be a well taken care of knife to do something like that. But I saw a report that it sounded like the knife was getting dull. Like, I guess I saw it on the news. I don't know where they reported it from. I believe it was News Nation. I came across it, saw it, and I was like, maybe you can tell that based on the description of the lacerations in the skin and how it was hitting bone and things of that nature. Let's see. Sissy says, I think they let the dog out to pee and forgot to lock the sliding door. I mean, that's possible. The one thing that I saw, though, and it doesn't mean that the surviving victims didn't put the stools there, but there was some stools on the back sliding door, and there's a picture of those stools on the back sliding door as the forensic scientists are arriving on scene. They're getting their cameras ready. They're doing all those things right now. When you have something like this happen, or any case that's of severity, you have to preserve the scene as exactly the way you found it, to as best as you possibly can, until you get the photographs and the forensic team in there. You don't use the furniture as an item to secure a door, especially one that could have been an entry or exit point. You look at the pictures, there were stools in the background, right, that were near that sliding door. If this person who just committed these 4 heinous assaults on these people is probably sweating at the very least, if he's running out the back door, some of that sweat droplets, perspiration, or even hair follicles of hair could fall in a nearby area or land on those stools. And if the police use them to secure the back door, that's contaminating the evidence in the back door as well as a possible entry and exit point. And so, is it possible that the roommates woke up and that was open and they put that there before the police showed up? Yeah, that's highly possible. But I think that I find that to be on the possible, not plausible, Yeah. And so, in my opinion, I think the front door, especially if you have somebody who's close, right? A potential suspect who lives nearby, somebody who's familiar with the people that live in the house or are familiar with him, there's a possibility he has the gate, the punch code to get in. You know what I mean? And so, let me see.
What's it called? So I remember someone had said that they brought up that maybe one of the girls was pregnant. Who was that? Who did they say that they thought she might be pregnant?
I didn't see that. I think Blue saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
Right, Blue?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I saw it, and that Jackass got jealous or something like that. So.
I mean, but even if, let's say, one of them was pregnant, I don't think they would be out there drinking, would they?
I mean, if they were a good mom, but
Yeah,
but you know, to that point and things of that nature, I mean, it's possible, but yeah, I don't think that is true. I don't
yeah,
think that that's right. Yeah.
but I don't think it is true at all either.
Right. 99M and Lipstick says corner would release if one were pregnant. I think so too. I think so too.
Mhm.
Here you go. Miss R003 says, I heard the pregnant thing in one video, but it's just a rumor. Someone said because of the baggy sweatpants. Well, here's the thing. I don't think it was reported that she wasn't supposed to even be in town. I think she was supposed to leave, right? She was supposed to go on a road trip. She was supposed to go home,
Yeah,
but she had just bought the Range Rover. So she went back to show her
Sure.
friend and she, you know, they went out. It's possible that she was in her driving clothes, like to go out of town on, you know what I mean? And it wasn't a night that they were going to go look for something, you know, crazy. The one thing I did see and notice though, is Madison is wearing a very large coat.
yeah.
You
It
know what I
doesn't
mean?
seem like it belongs to her.
It definitely don't belong to her. It seems like it's a man's. I wonder who's that coat belong to.
I don't know about y'all, but when it's cold outside, I like sweatpants. They're comfortable, you know. I own a few pair myself, so I don't blame her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are definitely comfortable. Let's see. They said that she looked heavier, a little heavier recently. I mean, that happens though, you know, as people get older and if they don't change their habits and drink and, you know, consume alcohol, they end up getting heavier. Trust
Yeah.
me, I know.
Yeah, I know when it gets cold, you know, I eat a lot more. That way I can hibernate and shit.
John Doe goes, is the coat from the tank top guy? I don't think so because you can see Madison wearing the coat as she's walking to the grub truck. And the only person that's with her, the only two people that are with her is the hoodie guy and the guy and Kaylee. Now, the fact that these two are, well, I mean, I was thinking the fact that they were walking together leads me to believe that the hoodie guy really wasn't kicked out of the bar that night. You know what I mean? I would have thought that if, you know, unless he waited outside in the parking lot for them, which is super creepy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
Yeah, but my question is, since they did attend the bar, I wonder if there's surveillance from them at the bar, you know, see if they upset somebody there.
Mm-hmm.
It might have to be. Most bars I've been to have cameras.
They do have cameras. They definitely have cameras. There's a guy out there, JLR. He's doing investigations out there and talking to people and whatnot. He was the guy that we brought up when they were talking about the vehicle traveling from west to east into town on Idaho 8. He was outside of the corner bar and he showed that there were some cameras that were outside of the corner bar or the corner club. I'm sorry. And so, but yeah, does anyone think that this may not have happened at all if Kaylee hadn't come back? I mean, I don't, you know, we don't want to like victim blame anybody, but you know, if she was the target, then you would definitely say that perhaps it doesn't. But you know, somebody that's deranged to do this that night, it was probably just a matter of time before he does something like this. Period.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's just gonna probably wait longer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he was gonna get the nerve to do it or the opportunity to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone saw in a neighbor at food truck in that hippie coat with very good. It's like very like. We looked at that. The guy looks a little bit young to be him. He looks like he's in his mid-20s, and it really doesn't sound like his voice.
Yeah, definitely not. It's just a way different voice.
Yeah. And so, with that said, we saw that we investigated that, and we don't think it's the same guy. Yeah. We do think that Innan is possibly potentially involved. He says some weird things, especially on that Reddit post, which we spoke about. You guys can see that on our, you know, if you go through the playlist and go to the Murder Mystery Monday, because we were only going to do this on Monday. This is transformed into like our main topics of the shows now. You'll be able to see that
on that on the Innan possibly being at the food truck. The still picture looks a lot. It makes it look like it's him, but it really on the video itself, you can tell it's not him.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just the shadows that make it look like he has a thicker beard and whatnot.
Sissy says coat's supposed to be Jack D. Circus Crime has a picture with him on it. That's possible. I mean, Madison, Kaylee could have had the jacket at the apartment and lent it to her, being cold or whatnot. Let's see. We'll take a few more because this show is only going to be probably another 5 minutes, and then we're going to cut it off, guys. So please hit that like, please hit that subscribe button. We will be going live tomorrow, talk a little bit more in depth. We'll be taking phone calls, things of that nature. And so, you want to be a part of that. You want to check in, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. That way you get that out there. Just like Steeler fan said, thank you so much. Yep. Steve has no authority to clear anyone. And
yep.
And sometimes, like, you may not see something if you're that closely, tied to the situation. You may not believe something that's not there, or believe something that isn't there or is there, to the same degree. It's not good for him to be questioning anybody. That's not good, and not good at all. Let's see.
Someone here asked if we believe it's going to be a one-person deal or it's going to be multiple people.
I don't think it's more than two, but if they said that, if the police and the coroner said that it was all the same weapon, then that leads me to believe it being one. Like, is one guy just watching? You know what I mean? Or taking turns with the one knife. It doesn't make as much sense to me.
Yeah.
If there was two people there, that doesn't mean maybe it's not plausible. Possible. It definitely could be possible. It could be more than one, but I don't see them like sharing the knife back and forth, or one person just standing in the room watching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Paul asked, which girl had the coat, Maddie or Kaylee? And that was going to be Maddie had the coat. To me, it looked like the hoodie guy was with them, but when they were around other people, they tend to pull away. But the video, they were together. Just a guess. Yeah, hoodie guy and Kobe Bryant. If you go back and watch, and you know what, we'll bring this up tomorrow. Kobe Bryant in that video. I call him Kobe because he's wearing a Kobe jersey, and there's a guy named wearing a Joe Burrow jersey. If you go back and watch, Kobe Bryant is acting real suspicious in there. He goes up to Joe Burrow and says something to the effect like, hey, Maddie's here. Joe Burrow sees that, reacts, goes around, waves at Maddie. Maddie then comes across, right? And that's when he runs into that bigger guy, Joe, and Joe goes, ew, because she's drunk. And so she comes across, they start talking. She goes back, and when Maddie goes to talk to Joe and gives him a hug, Kobe Bryant takes a step back, like noticeable steps back, and he's looking around. And then Maddie comes back to where Kaylee was at, ordering the food. And then at that point, a couple of girls show up. One of them kisses Joe Burrow, and then they leave. When they leave, Maddie and Kaylee go back to that area, and it looks like there's some kind of weird exchange going on between Maddie and Joe Burrow. They get kind of close to each other. It almost looks like she's groping him. It could be the angle of the camera that makes it appear that they're that close. Maybe a different camera angle could make, show a little bit more distance. But based on that angle, it does look like they're together in some form or fashion. And then Kobe Bryant just kind of like backs up throughout that entire thing. Really, it seems like he's uncomfortable with the situation. And so it's weird. Natural Mystic says, I'm different. I think it's female. Totally
one of those.
Impossible, but I'm sticking to my gut. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. somebody who has a weapon, somebody who's enraged with an adrenaline is going to do some crazy, can do some things. And so it's definitely possible. I lean on a male subject, probably a bigger guy, stronger guy, a guy that has some sort of athleticism to, do this and overpower 4 people. Definitely. Oh, nice. We got a super sticker. Thank you so much, Jane C. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you
guys. Yeah.
If you guys, we'll do this for another 5 minutes. If you have any questions or you want something to answer us, we'll definitely answer it. If you get on a super chat, we'll answer all super chats and we'll try to answer as many questions. See, this is true. Most men couldn't do this crime. This is something that, in my opinion, would take somebody who's very active. Let's see.
Most men are not monsters.
That's true, dude. Let's see. That was my first theory. The girl walking up to number 9, got in his face, said something, and stormed off. See, I've seen it. It looks like she kissed him when she got in his face and then left. But he also does this weird thing. If you look at Joe Burrow, number 9, when I want to say it's after Maddie walks off and before those girls arrive, he tells Kobe Bryant something, and then he does this motion like going to sleep.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Right.
Why the hand gesture? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That one was weird for me too.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely was weird for me. Let's see.
Somebody wants to do a grub truck video. Yeah, breakdown tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. I'll pull up some videos. We'll look at it. We'll bring it up. Make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you're notified about that. Everybody. Let's see.
We're so close to 3,000 today, guys. If anybody's not a subscriber, subscribe, guys. We're almost there.
Yeah, almost there.
Somebody put Messi in here.
Messi?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Argentina. And they won the World Cup today, so.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say congratulations. No.
We have another super chat. A super sticker. Thank you, Patricia. We appreciate it so much. If you guys want to, we have our membership. We have super chats. If you want to help donate, we also have a website in the description. It says buymeacoffee.com/drunkturkey. And you can buy us a beer there. We would appreciate that. Let's see. I had saw one that I wanted to talk about real quick. What about the white car? So the only thing that I can think of as far as the white car traveling back east is, and let's bring up the map real quick. If he was at the corner club and he dropped off somebody who was a coworker, somebody, a Patreon, somebody who was needing a ride or something in this general area, he took him home through this way and then came down around this direction. That's a possibility. 345 coming back at a high rate of speed, or not a high rate of speed, it was described as being quick, is something that leads me to believe that driving quick at that time, heading directly towards the scene, 3:45 in the morning, bar closed down at 2 a.m. We just got to figure out why he was coming that direction. We can, put that piece in there. I think it'd be pretty circumstantial, but pretty solid.
Jane C asked, did they walk or Uber? They Ubered because they cleared the Uber driver.
That's true. They walked from the corner club to... it's basically they walked from the corner club 3 blocks down to where the food vendor grub truck is. Oh, I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'm looking through the comments, man. I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
But somebody sarcastically said, "Thanks, Blue." I guess for ruining the World Cup.
Oh, geez, Blue.
It was hours ago.
Yeah, well, maybe they didn't see it, man. Maybe they were working.
Oh, my bad.
Too bad. Tomorrow.
I didn't say how it ended. It was.
Well, you said congratulations, Argentina.
I know, but I didn't say that they went to overtime and that they went to penalty.
Yeah, well, now you did.
Yes, I did.
Let me see. I'm looking for something we can put up here, but I can't keep up with this.
Check this out, guys. This is 50 red lot. What I found earlier today. Right here. Just in case anybody was asking, there's a white Hyundai Elantra right here.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sunroof.
It's a moonroof.
Same thing.
Same difference, right?
Malibu Cruise. No, it was a white one that was parked at their house. That's right.
Thanks to David Cummings for that donation. Thanks, dude. We'll definitely get a beer, man.
Oh.
Thank you so much. I think something was told to Adam by Maddie, drunk oversharing that Kaylee did, and she was worried, distressed, knowing it would get back to Jade. That's a good possibility. It does sound like they were in duress and distress, and so
worried or whatnot.
Definitely.
And tomorrow, somebody says I have to show a proper shotgun. I will try. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm pretty sure I can do it the proper way. And I'll even try it with a tall boy
on the roof.
On the roof of
you said car. It was on the roof, remember? So that's an Elantra, guys, and this is parked in a college parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
What this building? It's lot red 50. Wonder what this place is. And so there's a church nearby.
Is that this year's?
Yeah, 2022.
Okay.
And so here it is, the Elantra I think everybody's been looking for. If you want to find where it's at, this says 701 Railroad Street in Moscow. But if you tap in 414 College Street, it puts you right here. You have to, because if you go right there, you don't see it. It's only once you go into the parking lot that it's there. If you're out on the street, it's not there.
I'm going to put a comment up real quick. There you go.
Big Blue says, I've never worked at a bar, but I've closed a few. That's true, man. That is true.
You're not wrong, sir.
Do you guys remember the Mexico days?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah. We used to start out at like Amigos, then go to Corona.
Shot Shack.
Then go to the Shot Shack was first, man. I forgot Shot Shack was first. And then we'd go, it was in Mexico, so we'd go to this bar. It was 3 a.m. That's pretty much when most of the bars closed. And you went around the corner, and there was like a metal gate, and a little metal gate. Like you had to like pretty much just crawl into it to get in there. And that was the last bar of the night. And and that bad boy, when you walked out, the sun was up. And I've been there a few times. So yeah, you'd be walking around at 9 a.m. with a beer in your hand. You know, so I've been to those kind of places, man. Good stuff.
So real quick, we're going to show this one last time, and then we're going to probably end the video, y'all. But this is a comment here. Said the recording says reality Jake crossed the street over there at the beginning of the video. And then Kaylee says, Maddie, let's see if we can hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn everything up.
Beautiful.
What did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything.
I hear him talking, but I don't hear what they're saying. It's mumbled. What I'm gonna do?
Yeah, I couldn't.
I told Adam everything. That's what I hear.
Yeah. And Sissy, it says here, guys, can you turn on the slow mode, slow down the chat? I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. We're fairly new still, so please bear with us. We got to figure that out.
We still have our training wheels.
Yeah, we're still trying to. Blue is my spirit animal. He's a lot of people's spirit animal. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to break it down. I'm going to download it, and then I'm going to increase the audio to see if we can hear it. Okay. We'll have that on tomorrow. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to break down the truck grub video. We're going to break down this video here. We're going to increase the audio, see if we can hear anything. And we'll have that all for you guys tomorrow. We're a little long in the tooth on this one. We want to do 45 minutes. We did a little bit longer, but we want to appreciate all 621 of you guys that are in the live chat and the hundreds of y'all that you guys were here earlier. We appreciate it. We hit over 3K on the subscribers. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, everyone.
We really appreciate it. And Sissy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Love your channel. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you. Where did that recording come from? I'm going to do a breakdown on this video. I can see the end of the street here. I can see the pattern in the floor here as far as the sidewalk goes. I can see a glass building there. And you can see a roof that's kind of angular. I'm fairly positive by tomorrow I'll be able to figure out where exactly this camera came from, this recording.
Pinpoint that location.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir.
Give it up to Daniel. He does a lot of this work, and he finds a lot of the information for us. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. With that being said, guys, we're going to leave y'all until tomorrow. Be safe out there. We'll see y'all then. Peace out, guys.
Later.
Peace.
Take care.